Okay guys, I apologize, the view has changed a little bit, but I'm just got my elbow propped on the ground. I'm just absolutely exhausted. Um, I was talking about lots of things we need to do for the homeless, and I'll just say I want to reiterate about a place to store their stuff. I'm very sure that a lot of people would be anti having a homeless locker area. But you know what? I don't really care. That's what's needed. Because the reason that you have one of the stereotypes that all the homeless are lazy drug addicts is because the people that are responsible homeless people, you don't even know they're homeless. They're walking without bags. They've found a friend's place they could put them at, or they've found a good stash spot, and they go take care of themselves, and you wouldn't even know they're homeless. So those people don't get counted in your mind. And so everybody looks like, it doesn't look like what the real ratio is my point. So I think getting them lockers for those that are challenged, they could have some type of disability, they don't really think quite straight. I'm talking about a mental disability, not a physical one. And so those people need a place to store their stuff. Don't let that fall off the plate. Keep that in your mind when you see that being brought up, okay? Keep it in your mind how much they need it. Next, the medical care issue is just insane. It's insane. I know of one clinic that's available to the homeless, and I have not been treated in there, but I have been in there. And I assure you, no matter how much they try and what great people they are there, the services they provide do not come close to the need. Now, what I need to educate you on is the financial burden that it costs for the homeless to be treated the way they're being treated now. The gentleman the other day in the park who was telling us his head was pounding, he ended up going to the library, and I actually talked to him today about it. I asked him all about it. He is back out of the hospital, and he actually walked to the ambulance. He wasn't even put on a gurney. And I asked him, I said, hey, man, why did the ambulance come? And he's like, well, I called them. And I'm like, oh, you called them? Why? Well, that's the way you get to the hospital if you're homeless. Okay? We're not going to, if you're feeling horrible, if your head's pounding, if your leg's hurting, whatever, are you going to walk a long ways to the hospital if the bus isn't running? What if you don't have a bus pass? What if the free bus doesn't go to the hospital? I don't know all of that, but my point is, you're going to go call an ambulance. So what ends up happening is, that little head pounding incident, instead of it being a small doctor visit, it ends up being, the police respond, a fire truck responds, an ambulance responds, and of course, we're paying for all that. We'd be much better off giving them all free health care than the way we're doing it now. That's my opinion, take it or leave it. So there's a lot of things we need to work on. And remember, one thing that I want to leave you with before I go to the boards and then try to go to sleep tonight is what homeless people really need is somebody that cares about them, okay? They need somebody that cares. So we were talking about personal hygiene. If you're not willing to hug a homeless person, you need to reevaluate. You need to think, what has that person been through? Why am I allowing this to get to me that way? Because I'm going to tell you, what brought this up is I'm thinking about when I finish my homeless event, do the 30 days. Do I go as a stinky homeless person, or do I go dressed in a suit, to the summit? The point is, I'm being told, you don't want to go stinky because nobody's going to